Hey guys, welcome. Patrick Precourt here, welcoming you to another Monday Mindset Call. Hey, we're having a little technical difficulties in this streaming video, and I wanted to bring this one to you live instead of a PowerPoint today. So please bear with the kind of the chunkiness of the video. We've been working on it for about half an hour now. We cannot get it straightened out, but well, let's just kind of we'll go with it here, and I do apologize for the. He said the slow video. So we're going to take a little different direction today. Normally every Monday we get together on these mindset calls, and this is still on the side of mindset, but it's a little, this has to do with, well, quite honestly, this has to do with productivity, getting stuff done. That's what this call is about. Because I keep hearing day after day, week after week, about how everybody's so busy, you don't have time to do all of this. Yet, when I look at the overall results of these busy people, the results don't match up to the busyness. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, if I said, okay, over the last 2 weeks, what can you show me that really is forward progress, productivity, production, for all the time you spent in 2 weeks? That's a lot of hours, right? What is it that you really got done that moved you forward to achieving the goals, the results, the outcomes that you want to achieve, that you deserve? Now, I'm not getting on you, no doubt, because this is probably one of the single biggest things holding people back right now, that we do find ourselves getting busier and busier and busier every single day, yet we're not necessarily getting closer to what we're trying to achieve. I mean, raise your hand if that's you. I get it. So I got to check myself all the time with this. It's so easy to get sucked into being busy and not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So today I'm going to share kind of a little process with you for figuring out how you should spend your time each day. But before we do this, okay, I want to talk a little bit about goals, New Year's resolutions. You know, statistically speaking, nearly 60% of everybody who set a New Year's resolution, who set one, has either quit it or never begun it. And we're only, what, 18, 20 days into 2015, which means that same group of people most likely will get caught up in the day-to-day activities that keep them busy but don't achieve. They keep them busy but certainly don't fulfill. They keep them busy, but instead of thriving, they're simply surviving, which means this time next year, they're going to be in the exact same spot they were today, which is pretty much the same damn spot they were a year ago. Don't let that be you. Let's unwind that right now. Now, today's whole presentation is not about goals and New Year's resolutions. It's about really how you choose to spend the time during the day that you do, how you prioritize to achieve what you set out to achieve. But I have to throw this in there, okay? That there's lots of New Year's resolutions and goals that get set. Oftentimes they're about making more money, they're about losing more weight, about getting physically more fit. Some people who just generally want to have a better quality of life, they say, you know what? I'm going to mentally adjust. I'm going to emotionally adjust. I'm going to start changing things, right? And then what happens is we focus now exclusively on the result, which is the 20 pounds of weight I want to lose. And we take all of our energy, all of our willpower, which is a limited, depleted source. Each morning we wake up, we have a certain amount of it, and we start depleting it immediately. The moment we get emotionally, psychologically engaged in making decisions and in stress and in drama in our day, that drains our willpower. By the second half of the day, it's gone. We're running on empty. We're going through the motions. We're going through the steps. Yet we get so focused on our results that we don't invest our willpower in learning and creating the habits to produce the results. We get stressed out about the results and what it takes to achieve the results, don't invest that fuel into creating new habits, processes, techniques, that then that investment pays off dividends over time. Instead, we just stress about the losing of the weight and fighting the bad eating habits and so forth and so on. You see the difference there? You know, and that would take into consideration, you know, habits and what influences our ability to establish and create habits and support our habits. You know, if say, and let's just say you're a casual drinker. Forget, I don't want to talk about alcoholism. I'm talking about a casual drinker, but you drink a little too much. You know, it's putting that little few pounds in the belly. Maybe it's causing you to be a little less productive on the weekends, whatever. You say, I'm going to drink a little less. Well, hanging out with the same buddies that are still drinking at the same pace as you were at on Friday nights or Saturday nights or whatever, that ain't going to support you achieving the results you desire, and you're going to waste a whole bunch of willpower on that one. Versus creating a new habit, okay? Maybe, boom, when they're going out for a few drinks right after work, you go to the gym, you get your ass to the gym, you start changing things now. And then you can meet them at the tail end of the meeting, still have your social engagement, maybe have one beer with them instead of the 6 that led up to that little social escapade at the end. You see what I'm saying? We'll talk more about establishing habits. Not establishing, but achieving goals as we go further on. But today, I want to focus on how you prioritize your day. Now, if what I say is true, and your willpower is it's a resource, an asset that's certainly in demand. We don't have a whole lot of it each day. And oftentimes when we don't allow ourselves to properly recover, get a good night's sleep, uninterrupted, we don't necessarily always recover our willpower either, right? But it is most abundant in the morning hours. Wouldn't that immediately tell you that the things that are truly important to you, that make a difference, that matter to you, we should hammer out in the first few hours of the day, and definitely before the end of the day. This is when our important stuff should get done. So how do you do that? How do you even pick out, how do you prioritize? You get a pen here. What's important, okay? I got this little pyramid. You can't really see it, but there's a pyramid on this board here, okay? Okay? Pyramid. Now I want you to draw this pyramid for me on your on a sheet of paper. Pyramid's important, okay? And break it into, okay? Break it into 1, 2, 3, 4 segments for me. Oops. Okay? Oops. And on the, let's start at the bottom one here, okay? Let's start at the bottom, okay? We're going to, this one down here is going to be 0 value or negative value activities. These are all activities, okay? The next one up here would be a low dollar activity. The next one, the third tier, would be a high dollar activity. And then the top one here would be a high lifetime value Okay? That's that one right there. So we have, now these are activities. This is how you spend your day each day. Now, if you're wondering where I got this, a gentleman, just to give credit where credit's due, Eben Pagan, who's an amazing entrepreneur and trainer, okay? And he came up with this productivity pyramid. So I adopted this from a few things that I learned from him. It's a brilliant trainer, okay? But it makes all the sense in the world, okay? So you have your high lifetime value activities, your high dollar activity values, your low dollar activity, and then your zero value or negative value. And when you put together your day each day, when you start prioritizing how you spend your day, okay, the first few hours of each day should be spent, a couple, 3 hours right here, okay? Your next little block of time should be here, and this should all be before noon, all right? We'll call this your 12 p.m. All right? So this is morning, right? This is morning, and this is later in the day. So what are high lifetime value activities? Educating yourself. So reading something that's truly educating you, building you, expanding you would be an example. Getting your fitness done in the morning. A lot of people are like, oh, we'll work out at the end of the day. How does your willpower work out then for you? Remember, this is where the bulk of our willpower is, okay? Any investment in yourself, any investment in your business, in your company that produces over time. This is where teaching others to be great leaders in your organization would build here. So building other people would work out well. A lot of times we leave meetings for the afternoon. Well, if there's, worthless, wasteful meetings, which unfortunately a lot of meetings are, I get it. But if they're meaningful meetings, trainings where you're investing in other people, that could produce a high lifetime value. Self-meditation and recovery is a building process for yourself. Could be a high lifetime value. What could be a high dollar activity? Creating is a high dollar activity, generally speaking. Copywriting, video construction, building products, for instance, creating a new brand. That's all creating. Those have high dollar activities. Okay, things that well, in quite honestly, the market pays a lot for this type of skill. It's where your investment in your time will go a long, long way. That's what would fill in this morning area. Versus here, low dollar activities, be everything from, reading and returning emails to, daily household chores would fall into the low dollar activities. And if you're ever wondering, like, is it a high dollar or low dollar activities, ask yourself, what does the market pay for somebody to do what I'm doing right now, right? Now, I'm not saying that we don't have to ever do these things. I'm just saying that they should be left for the latter part of the day. Let's put them in the order of priority. These are the big things that are going to make an impact. They're going to change things. These are just the things that just got to get done. What's this down here? Zero value, negative value? Getting lost in Facebook, just looking at post after post after post of all the bullshit that's out there. Wasting your time on garbage TV, from the news to drama TV shows. That's garbage, okay? And the negative part is oftentimes it puts us in a bad state, which attracts more bad stuff into our lives. And that's where we start losing ground. Now, if I ask you honestly to look at your day and how many hours you spend in each of these categories, I'd be really curious to see where that ends up. Unfortunately, a lot of people, if they're truly honest and they document it every minute of every day, They spend a lot of time here where they should spend no time there. In no dollar, no value, negative space right there. Watching a good movie that's not here, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. We all know we need time to recover, to unwind. You know, and a good movie can do that for us. As a matter of fact, we can grow during a good movie because if we really immerse ourselves in it, which means that we've got to be completely present, we can expand. It's almost like going on a trip for a couple hours. That's watching a movie. Not doing this the whole time, you know, checking our phone, you know, listening around, paying attention to a million other things, not being present. Being present, zoned in. Not even knowing who you're with anymore because you're so engulfed in the movie. That's not a negative value activity. But a negative value activity is always keeping busy on your keyboard, chatting and texting and reading all this stuff on Facebook and responding to all this stuff on Facebook. That does not bring value. There are valuable things. There are a few key people and companies in Facebook that you could and should follow that will bring positive value that you'll learn and grow from, provided that's what you're using them for. Now, I'm going through this process on my personal Facebook page right now where I'm giving people the opportunity to go from my personal Facebook over to my fan page, my business page, and I'm going to start removing people from my personal face page. And I'm going to do it basically first by the posts they put out there. I'm going to remove the garbage first. I'm not saying they're garbage people. It's just I don't see the need for their posts in my space anymore. It makes sense, right? Take out stuff that doesn't serve you. But Pat, what if they're a friend of yours and they're posting that stuff? That's fine. They can still be a friend. They just won't be in my Facebook feed. Nothing personal. And if they get offended by it, that's okay. That's their choice. They choose that feeling. They choose to get offended, but it's not a burden of mine. As you all would agree, we choose our feelings, right? That's not my challenge. That would be theirs. So the point of today's conversation, okay, is to understand how we have to start posturing our day. And the exercise that goes along with this would be to start writing down in a big list all the things you do each day and where do they fit. How do they fit into this? Now, if you ask me, well, Pat, where does family time fit in? Where does husband-wife time fit in? Where does dad and child time fit in? Where, the four categories. I'm having a hard time understanding. Well, let me ask you an important question. How does investing in your relationship with your spouse return over time? Is that no value, low dollar, high dollar, or high lifetime value investment? I don't know about you, but the quality of my relationship with my wife directly affects everything I do. That's a high lifetime value investment. That's a priority to me, as is my relationship with my kids. So that falls in this category. Hell yeah. But Pat, how do we do that first thing in the morning? Listen, we all have busy lives. Kids have school, wives, parents, dad, all this kind of stuff, right? But that's not to say that you can't be present with them, each one of those people that falls in that category, in your family, in your life, each and every day, for even if it's for a moment at a time in the morning before everybody scatters. If you're like me where I have 3 kids, and everything's chaotic and crazy in the morning, my wife and I get up a little earlier. We make sure we have, it's usually less than half an hour, but a solid block of time in the morning, just the 2 of us, no TV on or anything, just the 2 of us, to discuss what we're going to do, today, what's going on in our lives. We make that investment every morning, and that will have a lifetime value. So when I talk lifetime value, it's not directly equal to having a dollar value. How does it return the quality of our life? And now we're going from achievement to fulfillment, right, over life. So the exercise here is to make a list, write down these 4 titles, and start filling in everything you do each day and put it in one of these categories. And then start arranging your day so that you're knocking out the high lifetime value and the high daily or dollar activities before noon each day. You've all seen the Stephen Covey example of the rocks, big rocks, small rocks, pebbles, and sand, where when he takes a big fish tank and he puts all the little rocks in and the sand in first, then goes to force in the big rocks that don't fit. But when he puts the big rocks in first, the important things that make a difference in our lives, these things here, when you put those in first, and then the littler pebbles are placed in around, and then the sand is poured in, there's actually extra room. There's extra space. And the point of his example there is, you know, we let all these little things come in and get in our space first, and it blocks out and knocks out the opportunity to get what's important to us done. So it's up to us to make that change. And oftentimes that means we got to cut things off, block things out. Now, the truth of it is, and I'll leave you with this, if you could find 3 dedicated, focused hours a day, exclusively dedicated and focused to working on these 2 things, I guarantee you, and I'll put my name on this one, I'll guarantee you, you will double your production or more. I guarantee you that. So you start out, you make a list of things that fall in these 4 categories, then you find 3 hours, which means that you put on a timer for an hour, you block it off in hours here, and you shut out everything else. There's no phone, there's no email, you crush whatever it is you're doing here. You find me 3 hours a day, that's 3 hours a day, 21 hours a week. You'll double your production. And I guarantee you, once you start establishing these habits, your ability to start achieving your goals that really matter to you will start happening too. Things in your lives will change. I'm going to wrap it up with that. You guys are awesome as always. We'll see you back here next week live. Cheers.